Importantly though, this is a deduction. It is not a $1,000 cash refund. It's also worth noting that it is proposed and not yet law. The policy announcement said a significant number of taxpayers could benefit. It also said that the average annual tax relief would be about $205. Hi there. I'm back this week to talk about the ATO's proposed $1,000 standard deduction for personal tax returns. This will work for certain individuals. And honestly, for straightforward returns, I think this is a really good thing. Anything that reduces admin for standard tax returns is worth a really hard look. It's less mucking around, less paperwork, less time turning a pretty basic return into a major annual event. But as always, there's a little bit more to it than the headline. Let's consider what they're actually proposing. It is a $1,000 standard deduction for individual tax returns from the 27 financial year onwards. In plain English, it means that you can choose to claim the $1,000 instead of adding up all your expenses and claiming them one by one. It's aimed effectively at people earning a salary and wage income. The government pitch basically is no box of receipts, no scrolling through bank statements. Just take the standard amount if it suits you. Importantly though, this is a deduction. It is not a $1,000 cash refund. It's also worth noting that it is proposed and not yet law. The policy announcement said a significant number of taxpayers could benefit. It also said that the average annual tax relief would be about $205. So this is not the magical $1,000 in your bank account. Now, why do I think the direction is good? And broadly, I do support it. For standard returns, simpler is better. And this is certainly not a new thing. I can remember my old man talking about this thing many years ago, right back to the 80s and early 90s. Policy level, this has been floating around for a very long time. The Henry Review back in 2009 said pre-filed personal tax returns should be the default for most people. Later, there was support for a standard deduction concept. And why does it make more sense now? And that's because the data gathering and sharing is much better than it used to be. The ATO already gets a huge amount of information directly. Salary and wages through single touch payroll, bank interest, private health fund data, dividend information, government payment data. And so, for many people, a lot of that data is already sitting there waiting to be checked. And this is why I believe it's sensible. If someone has one job, no real complications, and only modest deductions, we should not be making tax time any harder than it needs to be. It's worth noting though that many people will still need to lodge tax returns. If you have rental properties, if you have capital gains tax events, if you're a sole trader in business and have business income to declare, if you have investment or foreign income. Once those things are in the mix, it's no longer a tick and flick. Even with certain employees, there are other issues. If your work-related expenses are more than $1,000, you'd usually want to look at claiming the actual amount instead. So the standard deduction may help in simple cases, but it doesn't suit everyone. So while we're moving towards simpler returns, we're not fully at the no return at all for most workers. Not yet. Let me give you a quick example. If you are an employee with one job, salary and wages only, maybe a few small work-related expenses, maybe a bit of home office, nothing fancy. For that sort of person, a standard $1,000 tax deduction could make a whole lot of sense. It's less admin, it's less receipt chasing, it's less fuss. But compare that to someone who has a rental property or who's sold some shares or a property, a side business or foreign income. That person is still going to need a proper return. There are simply too many moving parts. And that is exactly why a one-size-fits-all tax administration only goes so far. So my view is pretty simple. For straightforward personal returns, anything that cuts red tape, reduces admin, makes tax time easier, is generally a good thing. And frankly, with the amount of data that the ATO already has, it makes good sense. But let's not kid ourselves. Plenty of Australians still need to lodge proper tax returns. Property investors, business owners, people with CGT events, and more complex affairs. So yes, let's simplify the easy stuff, so we're not quite there at 6 clicks and job done. I'm TC, and that's my 2 cents. Now, before you jump, if you got something out of this, like, subscribe or share. The videos are for information purposes only. I'm just a poor simple bean counter and no substitute for good financial advice. Any commentary or advice is general only. If you would like tailored advice, be it business advice, tax or accounting advice, please contact me at admin@atomicba.au. If you've got a topic that you'd like me to cover, hit me up in the comments below or email me at tc@tcs2cents.com.au.